Well, here we are. It is Christmas time, which means that another year has gone by, and here we are at Christmas. Christmas is an interesting time, and it seems like everybody has some opinion about Christmas, whether those who are believers in Jesus, those who are not believers in Jesus. Some people, they just love it. They just love the festivities. Other people say it's way too commercial. But however it falls out, Christmas is a time to think about Jesus. People say keep Christ in Christmas. I think that's a good idea. Let's do it. So, was Jesus born on December 25th? Probably not. But maybe he was. Who knows? We really don't know. And there are lots of reasons and historical reasons why that day falls on December 25th. And then maybe they're important, maybe they're unimportant, but it's a time every year that comes around. It's a global event. It's not just something local. It's not something just for people who live in the United States. Christmas is global. The church has traditionally liked to call this season Advent, which means coming, Kind of interesting that we call this season Advent, because not only does Jesus get a holiday, December 25th, which seems to be a holiday all over the place. People get off work that day. Jesus, by his grace and his mercy, gives you a day off. If nothing else, you should be thankful for that gift, the gift of the day off. But it really is a season, isn't it? It's an entire season where Christmas starts really on Black Friday. That's traditionally when, or at least in recent tradition, when the retailers would stay open late the day after Thanksgiving, and they would open Thanksgiving night and go into the next day. And Black Friday, meaning that was the day that would take them out of the red. So retailers, for the most part, brick and mortar retailers in the past, it's changing now with the internet and buying online, but they would go through most of the year breaking even or staying in the red. And the day after Thanksgiving, all the way through Christmas, is when they would make their profits. So they call it Black Friday. We're in the black now, we're no longer in the red. So it's a whole season. And during this season, it's a good time to think about Jesus, and it's a good time for Christians to think about Jesus. So we have prepared a Monday through Friday through the month of December booklet, Advent 2022, from December 5th through the 30th. And it's Monday through Friday, and there's just very simple readings in here, and then some reflection for us. Now, the way that we did it here is we have Jesus, the creator and the maker. So we talk about Jesus sort of pre-creation. Before the creation of the heavens and the earth, Jesus was there. And we talk about him coming into the world. And then we get into him being the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies, 300 prophecies concerning his birth. Then we get into, in the third week, the purpose of his coming. Why did he come? Why did he come? And we'll explore that briefly. You can explore it on paper. You can explore it with us here, wherever you're watching us on Facebook or the internet or our church webpage or YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast. Well, then starting the day after Christmas, we will talk about Jesus coming again. And then we have a bonus section that talks about the names of Jesus. So let's start with this one here, talking about him coming and him existing really before the creation of the heavens and the earth. And this is Monday, December 5th. Maybe you're watching this on a different day or listening to it on a different day. That's fine. It's all good. Here's the scripture from Isaiah 9, 6, and 7. And this scripture is relatively well known by a lot of people around Christmas time. It's found in Handel's Messiah. For unto us a child is born, and a son is given. The government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor. Now, should there be a comma there? Of course, in the original language, they're not using those kinds of designations. So should it be Wonderful and Counselor? Or is he the Wonderful Counselor? Well, he's certainly the Wonderful Counselor, but I think it's wonderful. He's wonderful, and he's Counselor. He's Mighty God. Now, are those two together? Is he Mighty God, or is he mighty and he's God? Everlasting Father. Is he Everlasting Father or Everlasting, Father? Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government, there will be no end. Now, this is an interesting passage in that it really connects his humanity with his divinity. You have the humanity, him coming as a child, and that's what we celebrate. That's the picture here of Joseph and Mary going to Bethlehem, where Jesus will be born in a stable, in a manger, some say cave, whatever it was, the place there where the animals were. He's born into the world. We call that the incarnation, coming from, you go Latin, Spanish, carne, meaning flesh, meaning meat, he's in flesh. And so he comes and he's born of flesh, and he dwells among us. He's a child. He comes as a child. Well, comes as a child, but then it says a son is given. And this idea of the son is the Son of God. So you have humanity and you have divinity right here in this passage. Now, this is an interesting passage, and Isaiah is prophesying centuries before Jesus comes into the world. So amazing prophecy. But it also goes, not only is it humanity and divinity, but it says the government will be on his shoulders, and it says there'll be no end to his government and peace. So this speaks of the eternal nature of Jesus and the setting up of his eternal kingdom, which he will do. This child who's born in the manger, who is God in the flesh, will set up an eternal kingdom that we will participate in. So it leads us into the future. It leads us into eternity, all in this little passage here. Absolutely amazing. Leads us into forever. And it's also something else, talking about our present need, because God is our present need in time of trouble. Jesus is all you need. Jesus is all you need. If your life is kind of boring and your life is kind of dull and your life is kind of full of, whatever, well, he's wonderful. Isn't it wonderful to have wonderful experiences? Isn't it wonderful to know somebody who's wonderful? Well, that should change our day every single day. He is wonderful. Well, then it goes on and he says that he's Counselor. Now, I don't know about you, but I need a lot of counsel. I need a lot of wisdom. I need a lot of guidance. I'm not that good on my own. And so I don't mind that I need a counselor. I don't mind that I need someone coming alongside me. I don't mind that Jesus is my counselor. So he's wonderful and he's Counselor, or he's the Wonderful Counselor, however you want to look at that. He's mighty. You see, all the power that we need, he's powerful to be able to do anything. Raised himself from the dead. I mean, wow. So the power's there. The power's there for whatever it is that we might need. He is mighty, and he is God. He is God. He's mighty God, or is he mighty and he's God? Well, he's both and, either or. He's God. And it's good to have God in your life. It's good to have, somebody, something, above you that, you serve, you love God. He leads you, he guides you. He's wonderful. He's the Counselor. He's mighty. He's full of power. And I belong to him. I belong to him. And the Apostle Paul said, I'm a prisoner of Jesus. I'm a slave of Jesus. I'm the property of Jesus. Property of Jesus. So there you go. And he's the Prince of Peace. So is he the Prince? Yes, he's the Prince. He's the Prince. He's the Prince of Peace. Peace in the Bible, the word shalom, it doesn't mean the absence of conflict. It means being settled, being okay. in the midst of conflict, in the midst of war, in the midst of controversy, in the midst of difficulty, peace. He gives us peace. And so of the increase of his government, it starts in one place and increases forever and ever and ever. There'll be no end. So we ask the reflection question. You may want to do it. How many descriptions of Jesus are found here? So you can go through that and count them and think about them. But Christmas season, Jesus gets the whole month. Looking forward to it, being involved in it, all of the activities around it, all of the cooking, all of the baking, all of the buying of gifts, all of the decorations, all amazing. Jesus gets the best holidays. A holiday really means a holy day. It's a day that's set apart. It's different than the other days. So we'll continue on for the next 4 weeks, just concentrating on Jesus and looking at Advent, his coming. So bless you guys, love you guys, and glad to be here with you. So peace, 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 grace, grace, grace. You are loved by God. You are loved by God. You are loved by God. You are loved.